So the desired growth and being really purposeful about organizational redesign and structure and how challenging and difficult that is. When you have a longstanding company that's used to doing things a certain way, and now you're creating a new structure to enable scaling, that was a daunting process.
It was, and I always kind of chuckle because when you say a word like visionary, I picture some like really
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, just one of these iconic types of corporate leaders, and I never think of myself at all in any of that kind of way, but just being able to see a few steps ahead, I think is really important, and giving yourself the time to do that. That is the hard work, I think, that people don't understand, is that you can't just be go, 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 go.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, you're going to wear everybody else out, and they're just not going to be able to subscribe to that. But the hard work is the thinking multiple steps ahead of where you are now and where you're trying to get the organization to go. And the bigger the organization gets, the harder it is to move it incrementally in those small steps. But one of the things that we did that I think was really kind of critical coming out of what I always refer to as the dark days of the pandemic in 2021, said, we have a lot of things that are just kind of known but unwritten. We take a long-term view on things. We're not always in it for the quick win. We play, but let's put down some things that we think are important. Let's put a timeline to it. So we published, as part of a strategic planning cycle, we published a long-term vision. We called it our 2030 vision. And we just put some kind of big aspirational types of statements together, put them into a few buckets that helped organize it and make sense, and started to talk about what those things mean to the organization, whether it's on the daily, how we're reflecting those, as we link it back to strategy, why we're doing the things that we're doing or why we're talking about these things right now, but fully aware that these may be unattainable, but this is the direction that we're trying to move. And being able to refer back to that document, it's a neat little image with some graphics and just very succinct types of statements that talk about the kind of organization that we want to be. I think that for any leader that's trying to say, how do I get everybody else to see what this is? I know for me, I'm a visual learner. I've got to see things. I've got to be able to make notes in the margin and ask questions about certain things. So that was a really important step, I think, in my, growing into this leadership role, was to listen to others, ask others for help, and shape something that people can start to rally around.